Good morning. Today we're going to make some Hollandaise sauce. Hollandaise sauce is one of the 5 mother sauces, and it is called that because the recipe we're going to do today can be used to make other variations of different sauces. For example, this can go on to make Béarnaise sauce, it can make sauce Maltaise, sauce mousseline, sauce Charon. The possibilities are endless. The ingredients we're going to use today are 2 egg yolks, 125 grams of melted butter, and just 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, which has been reduced with 6 white peppercorns in. In the bowl, I've also put a tablespoon of water. The reason we do that is because egg yolks are made up of low density lipoproteins, and if we add a little water, it will help those proteins unfold and move about easier when we come to cook them. The method we're going to cook our egg yolks is over a bain-marie. A bain-marie is a saucepan which is half filled with water on the stove, and then we rest a bowl on top. This is a way of controlling heat because egg yolks cook at 70 degrees Celsius. So we don't want to overcook the egg yolks, otherwise we'll just make scrambled egg. And that way, the water below helps us control that heat. We're going to make something called a sabayon first. To make the sabayon, I'm going to whisk the egg yolks while turning up the heat in a figure of 8 action. If you watched my previous video on making French meringues, I talked about the figure of 8 action, about how it supports all corners of the mixture and you incorporate all air. So what we're going to do, whilst controlling the heat, we're going to continue whisking, and this will gradually thicken up. Now, I've been whisking for about 3 minutes vigorously, and our egg yolks have now reached the sabayon stage. So I'll bring it in closer. There, it holds a shape. It's well incorporated. And a little test with sabayon is see if you can write your name in it. So I pick up the egg yolk, a C and an S. So that tells us our sabayon is ready, and we're now ready to start adding the butter. I've taken the bowl off the heat because we don't want the eggs to cook anymore, and I've rested it on a folded up tea towel. This is just to hold the bowl in place while we add the butter. So, to add the butter, again, whisking in a figure of 8, very, very slowly, pour the butter in a steady stream, and stop, and allow that to get whisked in. This is known as the continuous phase. Again, we add a little bit more. This will not take long at all. Also, as you notice when you are whisking in the butter, the mixture is getting thicker and glossier. That is because the egg yolks, which is known as the dispersal phase, they are actually incorporating all the butter lipids within the protein molecules. So we add a bit more. Now, this is the bit you've got to watch, because you notice the fat is getting harder and harder to whisk in. It's at this stage we can add a tiny splash of our reduction. The reduction just helps cut through the fat and the richness of the butter and the yolks, and also give it a little bit of flavour. And notice it has become slightly looser again, and we're able to add the remainder of our butter. We whisk that in. We add the remainder of our reduction. We don't want to make it too liquidy. We still want our hollandaise to be nice and thick, because ideally, hollandaise is a coating sauce. So it should not be able to be poured from a jug. You should be able to spoon it out. We also add a little bit of seasoning at this stage. And that is Hollandaise sauce.